members. I've got 2 or 3 major items today. Last week was a very eventful week. On stability, certainty, and assuredness of national leadership, as the euphoria was beginning to rise within the country and outside of the country about what is going to happen in 2028. We are a party with a long history. We are a party which is used to risk management in war and in peace. We are also a party which is very much aware of opportunistic tendencies which have always tended to interfere with our party processes at crucial decision-making junctures. We had very difficult experiences in the past of dealing with shocks arising from leadership changes or leadership attacks. So we are stilled as a party, we are tempered as a party, and we notice the temperature within the country but also within our membership about 2028, that a lot of forces were beginning to apply themselves to that very important calendar date. So being a party which is used to risk management, we found it best to apply an original solution to that challenge which was looming on the horizon of 2028. And the anxiety of our members expressed itself in bending around the current leadership of the party, the current leader of the party, not the leadership alone, but the leader of the party. They realized as a party that the best foot forward for the party was to continue to maintain the leadership of the current president, President Mnangagwa. And 2 conferences ago, the message started coming from within the grassroots of the party to say the president's tenure should be prolonged to go beyond 2028, simply to make sure that we forestall any eventuality of the party being caught off guard by gathering forces of other elements which were trying to seize upon this crucial transition, this passing of the baton stick, or calendar of passing on the baton stick from one leadership to the other. And they wanted to take advantage of the fact that we're a democratic party. We choose our leadership by elections, and they wanted to interfere with the process of the party. So the uneasiness of the party membership then translated into a resolution that we push forward the date of the transition to leadership. So those who had put on their track suits and their shoes, their running shoes, all geared for 2030 and were busy running, or geared for 2028, and had marked 2028 on the calendar. We just decided to make them run a little bit longer. They can go up to 2030, and if they still have the stamina to go to 2030, that's very good. The date is very much fixated on the calendar of the party. They can still keep their track shoes and their running shoes, their track suits and their Nike. They can, if they've got the stamina and of course the determination, they can run a little bit longer than they had supposed. But in the meantime, the party is in safe hands. It is in the safe hands of the current leader, President Mnangagwa. That is the import of Resolution 2030 that was carried out by our conference in Bulawayo. It was endorsed, repeated, reinforced by our conference in Mutare, and it then translated itself into a bill which was worked, which was coming from the originating institution, which is cabinet, which is executive. Then the bill was passed on to Parliament, and our Speaker, Speaker Mdenda, he enunciated, he published that bill in the Gazette. And then we went through the constitutional processes of the Republic of Zimbabwe in Parliament, and we did all the due consultations under the auspices of the Zimbabwe Constitution all over the country. And there was this resonance by the populace of the country to the call by the party leadership, by the party membership, to say the tenure of the president must be extended beyond 2028. And it ended up, of course, as a bill before Parliament, unanimously passed with overwhelming support. Surprise, surprise, even from the opposition. We almost got 96, 97% of the vote which is required, in the Senate, and an equally pleasing number, beyond 2/3 majority in the lower house in Parliament. And the Senate saw it fit to revisit some of the clauses which had been overlooked by our Parliament, and that is the role of the two houses. One has got oversight over the other, and the bill went back to Parliament, and last week it passed again. So it's now awaiting the signature of the President, who incidentally under Constitution is very much manacled to support that resolution. If he has got some misgivings, he can point them out. He can return the bill to the two houses to consider. But should those two houses feel that what they deliberated upon is the right way to go, the President has got no alternative but to assent to the bill as is original. We do hope that since it has already been sent back to Parliament, to lower house, there may not be that need for the President to send it back again. But if it's his prerogative, it's a provision of the Constitution, but his hands are pretty much tied. I want to make it very clear, under the Constitution, the President is pretty much obliged to assent to the bill as it is. So we are now safely in safe territory, in sure territory, from the point of leadership, from the point of certainty, from the point of stability. Things come from nowhere, and the second topic which I will be delving with will highlight to you, will pinpoint to you the vagaries which can arise out of unforeseen circumstances, especially in the fledgling republics of Southern Africa, where the geopolitical interests of those who used to be rulers is still very much alive, but also where maybe even historical tendencies of certain backward ideas may still want to latch and interfere with the revolutionary processes which we went through, in particular in the 60s and 70s, but which pretty much hark back to about 1910, when modern nationalist politics started in Southern Africa. So this was a week of a very eventful week in terms of both party politics, national engagement, and institutional oversight in what we are doing. Institutional engagement and national oversight in what we are doing. The bill CAB3 passed last week, and the people of Zimbabwe can rest easy again that 2028 is no longer a date of anxiety for them. They can go back to their usual work, hard work, which has revived this economy in the last 7 to 8 years in ways which nobody had ever foreseen could happen. And that steady hand of the President, the man who has turned the fortunes of this country, which had no currency, the country which had empty coffers, the country which had was begging for food, the country which had no exports, the country which everybody was hoping was relishing would be a failed state. No, that he has turned it around, and it has made the shrill messages of Anna Chamisa become even more dissonant. Nobody wants to listen to what they are saying now. He's coming out of the woodwork, seizing upon every misadventure which may happen within the sub-region to try to see whether he can claw back and get some credence. No, we are not going to allow it. We, as ZANU-PF, we are very much attuned to what our people want, and as our young people say, takachibata kuti dzvii, hatisi kuzombocheregera chinhu ichi, takachibata kuti dzvii. So certainty, stability under President E.D. Mnangagwa as the helmsman of ZANU-PF